Welcome back to the Jonah and Ben podcast. I just came up with an amazing idea driving home from work. RBNY players, fast food equivalents. Okay, so starting off, I think Emil Forsberg is Burger King. I like Forsberg. He might be washed up, but he still has productive numbers, despite the fact that, yes, he does offer nothing on defense. It's nothing. I mean, in attack, he's taken a step back, rhyming accidentally, but Burger King's not great either. The only reason I have Forsberg and Burger King, Forsberg looks like the Burger King mascot, and he looks like Prince Charming from Shrek 2, who orders who gets the equivalent of a kid's meal from Burger King in Far, Far Away Land, which is very funny. Okay. The Arby's of RBNY would have to be Tom Barlow, just because he's kind of a joke. And it wasn't even that horrible. Arby's is really not that bad. The horseradish sauce, I'm a big fan of horsey sauce. And, a double beef and cheddar, that slaps. Just like Barlow sometimes off the bench. He gave you height. But, just like how Barlow's was kind of a meme. Arby's, definitely. Hard to say who a McDonald's of RBNY would be. Lord knows. I guess something that's kind of a staple. Maybe Ryan Mara, just because he was always there, but never that great. But a lot of people liked him. Yeah. Wendy's, maybe Cornell. I don't know. All right, I'm going to attach this to the beginning or end of a different podcast. So, goodbye. Welcome back to the Jonah and Ben podcast experience. Today we're on the NJ Turnpike, driving not to Red Bull Arena, but a location I will not cease Rutherford. I'm joined by the Ben and the Jonah and Ben podcast. The Red Bulls take on FC Cincinnati tomorrow at 7:30 p.m., 7:40 kickoff. Only on Apple TV at what's it called? TQL. It was called TQL. I didn't want to be wrong. TQL Stadium. What's up, Ben?
This will be the final edition of New York Red Bulls FC Cincinnati pending a playoff match as Cincinnati
or Open Cup.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
because of CCC. Okay.
So Red Bull coming off a really weird. Both teams are coming off the strangest match day, where both New York teams drew 4-4 at their home stadiums. Red Bulls doing it against their arch nemesis, DC United, and Cincinnati doing it against the team that eliminated them in the 2024 MLS Cup playoffs, New York City FC.
Yeah, one at a real soccer stadium, and the other at Yankee Stadium because the Yankees were busy sweeping the Red Sox. But for real, Red Bulls, just the strangest game. It felt more like a basketball game. There was hardly any moments to breathe. The defense was awful. Horvath was bad. The midfield was great in attack. Zero defense. Just nothing. But the attack looked great. Rubokava with by far his best game as a Red Bull. Julian Hall, when he was playing his correct position, was great, as usual. And Mascara, not so great, but you wonder why Cowell didn't get a cameo at least. I wonder if anyone asked Michael Bradley about that. But what were your takeaways from Wednesday's games? It's not last week. 2 games in 1 week is crazy.
My 3 takeaways from that game is George Rubokava.
I didn't ask for 3. But okay, those
when
are
he plays, like when he's fully who we rely on the wing, he's our best player.
Oh.
It's he looked
Who expected
dominant. He looked like the best player on the field that wasn't named Ty Rebo.
And then I think you had a better game than Berriba, in my opinion.
Rebo just ended up being in the right position at the right time.
That's because of Red Bull's horrible gashing defense. Though I guess you could say the same thing forever. Milquetoast right back DC had trying Hefty. Cowell made him just look like a fossil.
Cowell?
Ruvalcaba. I was confusing Caba and Cowell. That's why. Yes, Ruvalcaba made him look like a fossil. Just turned him into dust several times. Broke several players' ankles. It's great.
My second takeaway is that Adrian Mametti looked awful in that game. In that defensive midfield spot, he looked like the wrong guy. Gustav Berggren, even in his short cameo appearance for New York in that game, he looked like a much better midfielder. Just told me midfielder than Mametti. If they want to roll Mametti out in that spot on Saturday, they're asking for Chelsea. Not. He's an 8, and they tried to play him as a 6, and it didn't work.
Okay, what's your third takeaway?
Third takeaway is Ethan Horvath can't say shit.
He did make a save.
One save.
That save was the reason they didn't lose 5-4.
And Sean Johnson made probably the best save.
But definitely the best save of the game. No. But during any Red Bull game, probably besides Horvath's save on Messi's free kick. That's the one game Horvath really showed up.
Or tried.
Well, yeah. But that's the only game where you can say, okay, he got us a point or he got us 3 points. Was the Miami game on that last streak game. Because it wasn't an easy save, even if Messi, for some reason, didn't go over the wall and into the top corner, which he always seems to do. But, yeah. Sean Johnson, 93rd minute save was killer, but even then, you score 4 goals, you should be winning. But I guess you could say the same thing for DC. All right. Anything else?
I think Bradley, just like his dad, how stubborn he is. It's something we're just going to have to deal with this season and whenever he's on coach. He has his favorites, and unfortunately, that's kind of why we didn't get 3 points in this game, because the guys he likes really are not the best players on the for us.
Well, the guys he does play, and even though good players, I think moving Hall to the wing and not just subbing in Cowell and Choupo is ridiculous. I think you could have won that game if it was Cade Cowell late there instead of Hall. And subbing out Ruvalcaba instead of Hall for Choupo, it just makes zero sense. Really.
And we had,
even when you were up 4-3, because they were up 4-3 when he was making that sub ready, it makes no sense even then.
We had one
ridiculous.
But after Choupo came on, we did nothing with it. Cowell was still on the bench.
That's come out. Makes no sense.
A mistake.
Unless something happened in training that we don't know about. It's just none of it made any sense. Anything else? No?
Nice
Okay.
to see Joya Masenga-Bungi make his debut. You can tell this was a professional debut. I mean, it's not to him that he just was the worst defender and probably our worst defending this season.
I disagree with that.
But
he wasn't any worse than MDS. He wasn't.
He was worse than JMR.
I don't think that's true either. JMR was single-handedly responsible for that second goal.
Yeah, but you can blame Bungi for the fourth goal.
Maybe. I don't think Bungai was really that bad. I didn't watch any of the highlights since the NYCFC video. All I know is they got a late penalty. And they scored 2 stoppage time goals, or 2 goals in the last 8 minutes or so, right?
Something like that.
I know they scored 90 plus 5, and then 88th or 92nd minute, too. It was 4-2 NYCFC, and then finished 4-4. So, obviously, Red Bulls, since the first match of the season RBA, was 4-2. So.
Defense is actually banned in this matchup.
Yeah. Which means it's going to be 0-0. No, it doesn't. I've made that joke like 5 times, and it hasn't been even close to coming true once. It's more likely to finish 5-4 than it is 1-0 or 0-0 this game.
Our offense is really good.
Yeah.
We don't have a defense.
But neither do they last time. Though they are getting players that we didn't see back, like Robinson. And, though still we should take advantage of terrible washed-up Miazga. Anything else?
There was something
No? Okay.
in the New York City Cincinnati game. Levander became the single leading goal scorer for all time for Brazilians in Major League Soccer.
Who was he tied with? Kaku?
I do not
Not
know.
Kaku, Kaka.
I do not know who he took the lead from, but he has 44 goals and at least.
That's the best goal scoring for any Brazilian in MLS. So that's neat. Sorry for the audio. Driving. I mean, if you want to move on to match day predictions, or is there anything else?
One of the biggest things in this previous match day, Philadelphia Union conceded in the 96th minute to a goalkeeper. That's the third time in Major League Soccer history that a goalkeeper has scored. Two of those have involved Toronto FC, and they both occurred on the same net in front of the same supporter section. I just think that's one of the craziest statistics you'll ever see.
No, that's a fact, though.
Yeah. And Philly dropping points to a goalie goal is incredible.
Yes, it is. Especially when they were down 3-1 Toronto. Philly blew a 3-1 lead, which is good.
To a goalie.
Anything else? Do you have any... What's another one? Do you have more to offer?
I do not.
Again, bring up the games, man.
Just give me a moment, fam.
This isn't a podcast for NHL or NBA talk. If I'm going to do that, I'll do that on my own time, probably.
Starting off match day 10 is Toronto FC taking on Atlanta United at BMO Field at 1 o'clock Eastern.
I can't believe it's already match day 10 as we see a United playing land. Toronto 4-1.
2-1 Toronto.
Okay.
Club de Foot Montreal play New York City FC at Stade Saputo at 2:30 Eastern.
No.
1-0 New York.
Yeah, it's probably more like
Minnesota United take on LAFC at 4:45 Eastern at Allianz Field in St. Paul, Minnesota.
on Fox, I assume. LAFC who?
Minnesota.
Oh. LAFC 2-1.
1-1.
Okay.
The Columbus Crew take on the Philadelphia Union at 7:30 at Miracle Grove Field in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you mean Lower.com field?
Not anymore, dang.
But you've been calling it that.
Yeah, but now I changed up.
Why? Because you read it.
Yeah.
Or is it on Reddit? 3-2 Columbus.
0-0.
Okay.
Scum take on Orlando City Soccer Club at Audi Field at 7:30 Eastern in Washington.
2-2.
1-0 Orlando.
Oh? That's a hot day. You should post that on Instagram, dude.
Inter Miami take on the New England Revolution at 7:30 Eastern Time at the new stadium in Miami, Florida.
Messi versus Matt. 3-1 Miami.
1-1. In this edition of Copa Tejas, Austin FC take on the Houston Dynamo at Q2 Stadium in Austin, Texas.
Dallas 3-2.
It's Austin.
Oh, Houston 3-2.
1-1. The Chicago Fire take on the Kansas City Wizards at 8:30 Eastern.
No. Sporting KC.
They take on Sporting Kansas City at Soldier Field at 8:30 Eastern in Chicago, Illinois.
2-0 Chicago.
2-1 Chicago. Nashville Soccer Club take on Charlotte FC at 8:30 Eastern at Giannis Park in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville 2-0.
Nashville 5-0.
Whoa. That was a hot day.
St. Louis City
Choupo
Soccer Club take on the San Jose Earthquakes at 8:30 Eastern at Energizer Park in St. Louis, Missouri.
STL, CSC. 1-0.
San Jose Earthquakes 2-1.
Okay.
San Diego FC take on the Portland Timbers at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California at 9:30 Eastern.
Timber Joey's in. 3-1 Timbers. They're kind of terrible, but I don't know how that's going to
San
happen.
Diego 1-1.
They started so good.
The Seattle Sounders take on the Dallas Birds at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, of the 12th at 10:30 Eastern.
2-1 Sounders.
1-0 Dallas. The Vancouver Whitecaps close the night against Colorado Rapids at 10:30 Eastern. at BC Place in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Vancouver 5-1. Muller hat trick. Estamos por lá.
And it closed the match day. Los Angeles.
No, you didn't say your score.
Oh. Well, in Colorado.
Colorado are going to be Vancouver and Vancouver?
Yep.
Okay.
To close out the match today, the Los
You
Angeles
just
Galaxy
know Beshes on that.
take on Real Salt Lake on Sunday Night Soccer at 7 o'clock at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California.
2-2.
3-0 Nil.
Whoa. That's an odd
your New York Red Bulls will be traveling to CQL Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, to take them on at 7:30 Eastern in Ohio.
2024, Cinzio Wade was too graded. This game will also be graded.
There were tremors.
All right. Do you have to like do that? Gen one of me? Fuck you. I think 3-2 Red Bulls win. RBNY win. Goals from Rubalcaba, Hall, and Choupo.
Red Bull 4-3.
Goals?
Paul, George, Powell.
Who's scoring the 2?
George.
Really? And then for Cincy, probably Denke because he was so terrible in the last game. He wasn't even that bad. He just missed a lot of good chances. But Denke, I don't know, that small midfielder. Not Evander, but someone else. Oh, Evander and, fuck it, Barlow.
Evander and Tommy B.
Nobody Slime just called him Tommy B.
Tommy B was for the first.
Tommy Brace.
Tommy Buckets.
I'm done with you. This podcast is over. We're never doing another episode. You got that? What the fuck? No, you got that?